Hey everyone, welcome back. My name's dustinkreis, and I just kind of want to do a quick response. Not to any one channel in particular, but just to sort of everything that's going on out there in YouTube, because in some ways it feels a bit like the YouTube gaming community is a bit under siege. By someone that I thought would have more brains than this, and that is Sega. And a lot of people have sort of thrown their hat in the ring, put some skin in the game, and I'm going to as well. You know, I've watched a lot of people talk on this subject, and I am completely and utterly flabbergasted and appalled by the actions of Sega. It's one thing to sort of protect your new IP that's coming out. It's another thing to just outright attack fans that would probably buy this product. You know, I don't have a lot of Sega content on my channel, mainly because I didn't grow up as a Sega kid, and all the Sega stuff to me now is kind of a new experience and kind of a fun experience. I'm getting to experience something that I didn't get to experience as a kid by playing, you know, the Genesis, the Master System, Saturn, the Dreamcast, all those systems. And I have a lot of Sega games, even on non-Sega systems, like on the Xbox and stuff like that, that I want to cover. I was planning on doing something for Shenmue with a friend of mine here, but I don't know. I don't know if I can even do that. I mean, you know, I guess they're getting ready to release some Shenmue stuff out there online, so I don't know if that will get flagged. So I'm kind of in the same boat as like Swagman, where I don't want to put anything Sega related on my channel. And you would think a company like Sega, that's in such dire straits, would have a lot more brains than what they're showing. With the importance of social media, like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, you would think that they would take any opportunity for free press for a goddamn Sega franchise. You know, is just, for fuck's sake. I mean, Sega's almost a dead company. You know, they used to be a giant in this industry, and you know, now, aside from a few Sonic games that come out, what the fuck else do they do? You know, I mean, really, it's kind of one of those companies that's riding on nostalgia for their heyday. And you have people on here celebrating that heyday, celebrating the golden days of Sega. And they shut the fucking shit down. You know, there's not a lot to really, you know, Sonic Colors was a great game. I hear these Sonic kart racing games are great games. But other than that, has anyone ever talked about a great Sega game that does not include Sonic in like the last, I don't know, 10 years? I'm struggling. I mean, I'm sure there's great games out there that Sega's put out. But they're not the company they once were, both in the content they create and the way they act. I'm just kind of sitting here looking over at my shelf there, and I can see my Xbox games right there, and it's like, I want to play Otogi 1 and Otogi 2 and talk about those. I want to go back and finish Skies of Arcadia and talk about that, but oh, they're going to do an HD remake, so we might not want people talking about the game. We just want our videos, you know? This is kind of the problem I see with YouTube, is that it started off being user-created content, and slowly but surely, the corporations are coming in and realizing that we don't want fucking you and I talking about this shit on here. We want, our spokesmen doing this. We don't want, Johnny Public talking about, Shining Force is a great game, but, blah, 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 blah. Information control. Really is. And it's unfortunate because guys like Benzo, and Benzo's really the only one that I've known that, I think maybe Johnny got hit. Johnny Millennium got hit too. But Benzo's the only one that I know that got hit with this. I know there's other people out there that's gotten hit. But it's like, hey, there's our fan base. Let's fucking hit them. Let's hit them right in the nuts, They love our games, but you know what? They're not helping us out corporately. And I really feel like these guys probably would have picked up this new Shining game. But they're not going to now. And I think there's enough ill will out there that Sega's really digging themselves into a hole. Because, like I said, they're not the company they once were. Yeah. I don't know. It's a sad state of affairs when any corporation bites the hand that feeds. Because, honestly, they live and breathe by us. By our money. We are what sustain them. And they really need to treat us with some fucking respect. Because the game industry, one, is doing a complete shift. Nintendo's kind of figuring that out with, the Wii U and things like that. It's kind of hard to find a Wii U, but buddy, if you go to the right town, these small towns in America, plenty of them on the shelf. It's changing. I'm recording this on an iPad. That's where the industry's kind of going. Sadly. And Sega is kind of a relic of the past. And they need to get their shit together because it's people like us that keep them going. The nostalgia for these old games that, we want to fucking talk about. Even though I have yet to really fully play a Shining Force game. I guarantee you when I play through one, I'm going to want to fucking talk about it. And I'm going to want to share my experience because they're just a little bit I've played. Just to make sure my cartridges work. For my, my Game Boy Advance cartridge. And to just kind of test it out on Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection. They're fantastic games. And the mere fact that I'm not able to make a video on it, if I choose to, is ridiculous. I can't speak for the rest of the world, but I live in goddamn America. And supposedly that's supposed to mean something as for what I can, freely talk about now. I guess not. It's not in corporate interest, but I just figured I'd make a little quick video discussing this because it's sad, because I feel like if Sega's able to gain traction with this, other companies are going to follow suit, because they can't control what we say about these games. I'm sure Square Enix didn't want me saying Front Mission Evolved is a piece of crap. Gearbox didn't want me talking about Duke Nukem. More often than not, I'm very positive about games. And even games I don't like, I try to put a somewhat positive spin on. But still, these companies can't control what I say about their games. And if they put out crap games, then you better be sure, and I'm going to tell you guys it's a crap game, because I don't want you, falling into the trap that I did. So, that's probably half of what's going on. The other part is, they don't want people typing in Shining Arc, or whatever the fuck this new game's going to be called. I don't care, because I'm not going to buy it, because I'm pissed. They don't want people typing that in and getting, like, Benzo's, retrospective on the Shining Force series, which is stupid, because these games are available on iOS. Free fucking advertising. Whatever. But these gaming companies really need to look at us as part of this YouTube gaming community and realize that we are their biggest supporter and we sustain them. You know, these old retro games are coming back on iOS, on virtual consoles. People are going to buy them that way. And they want to hear what real fucking people think about them. So, that's just sort of my thought on this. Really disappointed in Sega, but I'm not surprised because I just don't trust, you know, corporations. And that's what Sega is. They're a business, they're a corporation. I know we have a tendency to put these companies... I put Nintendo on a pedestal all the time, but end of the day, they're a fucking company with shareholders, and they're going to do whatever they think is going to, you know, fix their bottom line. And Sega has some major fixing to do. So, anyway, hopefully after this, because I don't know, Swagman's video really pissed me off for some reason. Like I watched Johnny's, I watched Nick's, and I watched Benzo's, and then when I watched Swagman, I was like, damn it, I can't take this anymore. And I want to throw my support towards this cause because I think Sega is just being, to borrow a phrase from Grub Gun. I love this word, but I don't like saying it on the internet. Sega is being a fucking cunt, and I think everyone on YouTube needs to rise up, and yeah. So, like Swagman, if I play a Sega game, I'm not going to talk about it on here. As far as I'm concerned, Sega is kind of done with me. I mean, I don't buy a lot of Sega games anyway, but I'm not going to show them off in pickups or anything anymore. I haven't picked up Sega games in a while, but yeah. So I'm joining the boycott. It doesn't mean I'm not going to buy them if I find them certain games, but I'm not going to support Sega anymore. So anyway, that's it for this. So hopefully next time I come at you with smiles and giggles and fun things to show. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time.